What is going on, everybody? I'm Noah from PhoneDog.com, and this is the HTC Touch Diamond 2. Special thanks to our friends at HTC who sent this over. This is the European version, an unlocked version of the Touch Diamond 2. This one just starting to hit the shelves. They introduced it back in February at Mobile World Congress in Barcelona, Spain. You might have seen the videos. I was the guy with the shaved head and the glasses who was fawning over this and the Touch Pro 2. HTC was kind enough to send one of the unlocked versions over. The Touch Diamond 2 and the Touch Pro 2 just starting to hit the shelves, or really the internets, not the shelves, but the internet retailers. In their unlocked version, we should be finding out some information about US carriers before too long. Some leaks online. Touch Pro 2 looks like it's headed to Verizon and Sprint. Makes sense, you know, probably. Also some stuff about T-Mobile. I bet HTC will get in there as well with the Touch Pro 2. With Touch Diamond 2, a little harder to say. The Touch Pro, the original version, you know, hit Sprint, and then also hit AT&T as the fuse. The Diamond did not go to AT&T, it did go to Sprint, and then the Diamond just came to Verizon, just came out a couple weeks ago. So, you know, kind of hard to say what the Diamond 2, where that one will end up in terms of the US carriers. But I got the chance, had this one for a week and a half now, and been playing with it, and I will say, right off the bat, this is one of my favorite Windows Mobile phones ever. I'm not a big fan of Windows Mobile, especially this version 6.1. It's really long in the tooth, it's getting old, it's clunky, you know, it's really showing its age, not nearly as nice to use, I don't think, as Symbian or as Android or as Apple's iPhone OS. But a lot of people have to use it for various reasons. And what HTC's done, starting with the original Touch and then the Touch Pro and now the Touch Pro 2, is they've created this user interface on top, TouchFlow 3D. This is version 2 of TouchFlow 3D, and it really makes the whole experience much better. I was saying to my friend at HTC after using the phone, he checked in to see how I liked it, and I said, TouchFlow 3D, the new version, is great. When I actually, like when I was looking at messages and I wanted to write a message and it clicked through the actual Windows Mobile mail program underneath, it made me sad because it's just not as nice to use. But in a nutshell, you know, TouchFlow 3D on this is great. The hardware is really nice. It's a resistive touchscreen, not a capacitive screen. Works really well. As long as I use the phone keypad for entering text T9 style, it was great. Using the QWERTY board's kind of crammed on here. It works better with a stylus than with your fingers. But using the phone keypad, the T9, which I'll show you in a second, with my thumb, really worked well. Some really nice little improvements in the new version of TouchFlow 3D over the old version, just kind of enhanced for the power user, keeping track of all your contacts, all your different communication with people, some things you can add in, data feeds and that kind of stuff. And then you've got a 5-megapixel camera on the back with autofocus. You've got this nifty little zoom bar, this navigation thing that helps you zoom in and out when you're looking at web pages and documents. You know, again, the HTC menu system, really nice. I do wish that it had a standard headphone jack instead of the proprietary HTC jack on the bottom. What are you going to do? The phone's a little bit sleeker, a little bit sexier than the original. Nice big screen. Really, you know, again, for if you want an all-touch Windows Mobile phone without a QWERTY keyboard, I don't know if I can think of one that I would recommend above the Touch Diamond 2. It's really good. What can I say? 3G, Wi-Fi, Opera browser out of the box. We'll take a little look at it now. Maybe we'll do an in-depth video later just about TouchFlow 3D. And I have to say, this makes me really excited for the HTC Hero and I hope a US version of an HTC Android phone with the custom UI. HTC really knows how to do UIs that sit on top of other operating systems, and if they can make Windows Mobile look this nice, I can't wait to see what they do with an operating system that's just a little bit more modern like Android. So that'd be cool. You know what would be cool is an HTC UI on top of iPhone, but that's not going to happen. Anyway, let's get a little more in depth with the Touch Diamond 2 from HTC. Alright, so the Touch Diamond 2, like the original Touch Diamond, all-touch phone, runs Windows Mobile, ships with 6.1, it's ready for Windows Mobile 6.5. You can see it's got the dedicated Windows Start key there, which actually on this phone is mapped to a custom HTC menu. So if we go ahead and hit the Start key, you can see instead of the regular Windows Start menu, you get HTC's, which is much nicer. Graphical icons, you can add your own, your own shortcuts there. Got a few, extra your Active Sync, your RSS hub, which is kind of nice, Google Maps, some stuff that HTC's added, custom YouTube client. And then you can, of course, go to all programs, and again, an HTC menu, got your list of all your stuff in there. Comes with Opera pre-installed, lots of neat stuff. Teeter, which is kind of a cool little game that uses the accelerometer. Word Mobile, all kinds of business. If you hit the home key here, the hang-up key, we'll show you real quick the hardware. On the front, you've got your touchscreen, you've got your zoom bar, which I'll show you in a minute. Then you've got call and cancel keys. The cancel key doubles as a home key, Windows Mobile key, and a back key. On the left side, you've got a rocker switch. On the right side, you've got nothing. You've got a speaker port and then your stylus down here. On the bottom panel, you've got your USB jack, which, again, it's used for charging, for data, and for HTC's audio system. On the top, you've got a power key that also doubles as your lock key, so you can press this button to make the screen go to sleep, lock the phone, and then wake it back up. On the back, 5-megapixel camera with autofocus. No flash, but it does have autofocus and video capture. So TouchFlow 3D, this is version 2 of it, and it's really nice. You've got just a nice GUI layer on top of Windows Mobile. It's my favorite sort of skin for Windows Mobile. It's both nice to use and also very functional. Some nice stuff for kind of power users for communications management in particular. So from the home screen, you can just kind of flip and get your alerts and stuff and your clock. And then on the bottom, you've got people, which I'll get back to in a second, messages, mail, internet. And so from internet, you can launch your browser, you can go to YouTube. You can add what are called push pages in this new version of TouchFlow 3D version 2. So you can set this up to automatically download web pages at a certain interval. So basically, you put in a bookmark if you want to check the a certain stock quote. Well, there's a stocks app in here that's a bad example. If you want to check your tennis scores, right? The French Open's going on right now. So I could enter in tennis.com and set it to check, automatically every hour, every 6 hours, whatever. And then when I turn the phone on, it'll already have grabbed that page and downloaded it for me, which is kind of nice. You've also got your calendar here, your stock app, which I mentioned, your photos and videos. So you can kind of quickly flip through, whoops, wrong way. There you go. You can flip through your photos here. And then I'll show you the zoom bar. So let's say I want to look at this photo. I can then use the zoom bar on the bottom to navigate in and out, which is nice. It's like a dedicated area for zooming. So it's not multi-touch, but it does give you kind of the next best thing. And then when you're zoomed in, you can move around. For a resistive touchscreen, it's quite good. Not quite as good as a capacitive screen like the one on the HTC made Google G1 for T-Mobile. But still, for a resistive screen, it's really pretty good. I'll go back. Photos and videos. And you've got your music player, which is similar to the one, photos and videos and music similar to the one on the original TouchFlow. Your weather widget. And so you can set it up for different cities, update it. Right now you can see I've only got an Edge connection. I can set it up for Wi-Fi as well. It's got built-in Wi-Fi, which is nice. We'll let it finish downloading. And then your settings, again, an HTC settings page, which is easier to use than the Windows Mobile page. We'll go to communications, airplane mode, Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, all that stuff. Obviously, Microsoft Direct Push for Outlook connections. So, just nicer to use than the Windows Mobile stuff. So here's your weather page. This is in centigrade, not Fahrenheit. But so here's my quick look at the London weather. And then you can, set this up. You can add a location, change to Fahrenheit, all that good business. So we'll go back here, and I'll show you one of really, I think, kind of the coolest upgrades to the new TouchFlow, which is the people management is a little bit nicer even than the original version. And so you can see here I've got a couple contacts in here. I've got my G1. These are all fake numbers, so don't bother calling them. And then my new NV Touch, which if you haven't seen the review yet, you can check out, not the review, but the unboxing. Just got the NV Touch from Verizon. And so you can set up favorites. So you can have your whole list of contacts. And let's say you have hundreds of contacts. You can put a certain number of favorites on the home screen. So I'm going to add the Touch Pro to my favorites list, and we'll use that number. And so now I've got 3 favorites on my my people list, and so I can kind of easily scroll through. These are my favorites who I want to get in touch with most often. You've got the little thumbnails on the side, so according to their picture. And if these are pictures of people, not of phones, they'd be a little bit easier to see. But at any rate, you get the idea there. And then you can kind of go through them. And then for each one, you can have whatever information you have set up for them. You can contact them in those different ways. So if I wanted to talk to the NV Touch, I could either call them or I could just hit the messaging button, and that would take me straight to sending them an SMS or MMS message, which is kind of nice. Now I can go in a little deeper here, and I can edit the contact information to add an email address for this. So I'll just make one up here, and we'll go j@a.com. And we're good, and we'll go back. And so now that I have an email address stored for TouchNV, I can also now just hit the button to send them an email. And so I don't have an email account set up yet, so that's why it's not doing it for me. But that's really kind of nice if you're the kind of person who, you know, most people these days, sometimes you want to call, sometimes you just want to text, sometimes you want to email them, depending on, you know, just what kind of context you need to communicate with them in. And especially if you're a business person, you know, this is obviously kind of a higher end phone. You know, just nice integration of multiple, you know, methods of communicating, and nice integration of keeping track of all of these different things. Really, just kind of easy to use, kind of, you know, very straightforward. Again, if you click in on the person, you can see, you know, your different modes of communication. At the bottom, you have these tabs here, so you can see their contact card. But then you can go and you can look at your messaging history with them. So the NV Touch told the Touch Diamond that you're cute, and then, or I'm sorry, I told the Touch Diamond told the NV Touch you're cute, and then NV Touch wrote back and said, and you are powerful. And so you can see your whole threaded messaging list there, which is pretty cool. And I can send a new one from here that says, you know, oh, you flirt, and we'll get an exclamation point. And we'll send that off. And so threaded messaging, and that should show up in my, there you go. And so that's kind of nice. And then you can also keep track of all of your email correspondence with that person. And I have, oh, you heard the NV Touch just got the message. And you can keep track of your email correspondence with that person. I don't have any yet, obviously. And then you can also look at your call history. So it's kind of nice. It's a people-centric approach. You can look at all of your, you know, obviously you can just go and look at all of your messages or all of your call logs or all of your emails. But you can also look at it by person, which is pretty cool, by contact. So we'll go here to the G1, and we'll look at the G1, and we'll go into, you know, same thing. I can look at my messages, I can look at my email, look at my call log with them. Go back, I can, from this, I can call them or send a message, so I'll hit call mobile, and it'll call up the calling thing. You know, really just kind of nice integration of all your different ways of communicating. If you have video chat capabilities, if you're in Europe, or, you know, depending on where you are, you can do video chat from facing camera. So, you know, definitely very just nice, powerful communication possibilities here. We'll go to the messaging, and you can just look at your messages straight up. So instead of looking by people, you can just look chronologically. And so the most recent message was from NV Touch, but if I scroll up, you'll see I also had a message from the G1. So you can just look at your messages, you know, chronologically there, and you can click through to all messages. And then similarly with email, I don't have an email account set up. Very easy to set up email, though. You just tap in your address, it looks it up for you. It's great. Exchange email, also very easy to set up. So very nice, people-centric, again, is the term I like to use. HTC might use that term, and I'm using their term. People-centric communication features in the new TouchFlow 3D.